I'm looking at this week are strokes gained approach, which is more of an emphasis on the second and third shots. Bogey avoidance, because you got to be able to hit the greens. Birdies are better, and I'm gonna throw in some strokes gained putting with an emphasis on bent grass.
All right, well, let's take a look at a couple guys. I'm sure you've run that model before. Let's talk about Dustin Johnson straight up front. $11,900, just shy of $12,000. About as expensive as a player ever gets in DFS golf, but for good reason. He's a hell of a golf player. How does he rate out for you?
He is, I believe, number one. Nope. He comes in at number 6.
Oh, wow. So you're not buying into the $12,000 price tag is what you're trying to say?
No.
All right.
I mean, I'm not telling you not to play him, but that's...
Oh, sure. No, I mean, you definitely could play him, but you got a guy like Brooks Koepka who is absolutely, red hot, and Matt Kuchar who missed the cut last week, but... from what I see, he basically has never missed back-to-back cuts, and he's still the FedEx leader, and he's down there at more than $1,000 cheaper, $1,400 cheaper, and Rory's been on fire. So if the course doesn't set up that well for him, it's not too hard to kind of go a little bit below. However, the contrarian in me also says, well, if the course doesn't set up that great for him, and the Sharks know that, and they don't want to pay up for him, maybe it's a good time to pay up for him. So you could make arguments both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's the world number one. I mean, he's gonna...
Good golfers are gonna do good no matter what, or have the potential to do good even in bad situations.
Right. So, it doesn't necessarily rate him out for me, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to be a big fan of Cooch this week. Missing the cut last week will get a few players thinking elsewhere. So I kind of like Kuchar this week at 10-5.
Yeah, I like Kuchar too.
I know this is going to go much quicker without Adam telling us interesting facts about literally every person on the list, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, and talking us off of Kevin Na and Jim Furyk and all the winning plays, we're going to all get rich this week.
I think you're right. Yeah. So a guy looking at looking through here at Fantasy National and sorting through some players and based on the model that you basically said here, a guy that really rates highly on here, and I just hate rostering him every single time, is Sergio Garcia at 9,500.
Yep, he's right at the top.
Yeah. Just kind of glazing through the categories you just said, and I'm like, oh man, I hate when I feel like I need to play Sergio.
Well, here, I'll give you a reason not to play Sergio. 21% ownership.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah,
that's really high.
You can get Brooks Koepka at 12.5%.
Yeah, I'm reading in the notes here on a couple of the articles I enjoy to read on the PGA every week that he's going to be faded by a lot of top-end players this week. That's interesting to me.
Sergio?
No, Brooks.
Brooks, yeah. Well,
people don't want money.
This is one of the discussions I wanted to have with Adam. This is the warm-up for the U.S. Open, right? Mm-hmm. So is he going to put his all into this? I understand they're professional competitors and everything, but they're all looking
forward. Depends on what the top prize is.
Yeah, they're all looking forward to next week at the U.S. Open. I mean, that's the big tournament.
All right. Let me go back to the tournament screen and see if I can find the prize schedule for this one. Unless you have it up in front of you.
I do not.
I'm trying to remember. I just was looking at it, but I went away from that screen. Tournament info. I think that's where you got to go. Nope, that certainly is not where I was.
While you're looking that up,
I was just curious what the purse was, and if it was a big one. Are we going to get some of these guys out swinging? Are they going to see how they're doing after the first day and depend on where they're at how easy they take it the rest of the weekend?
Yeah. See, what I've personally noticed in tournaments like this is this is where they start tinkering a little bit. So if there's something they've been working on, like Rory right now, his strokes approaching and his putting have been atrocious, right? The last few tournaments. This is going to be the game where he's going to try to get that fixed before the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. Now Brooks obviously has been playing awesome. There's probably nothing he's going to be working on, so he's just going to go out there and have fun. But some of these players, Kuchar seemed like he didn't care about missing the cut last week. He was laughing, having fun. So I don't know if he's got something. But I don't know.
It's a $5 million pool, kind of low in standards for some of the bigger matches, obviously. Top prize is just shy of $1 million. Pays out six figures to the top 13. You can call it 14 or 15 with a $93,000 and a $98,000 payout to 14, 15. So, I mean, good money at the top, but everything below that is 30, 40 grand or less. So, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these big name top bill guys, if they're not really, competing for that top 20 spot, that you might see them either start tinkering or just taking it easy.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of my feeling too.
So maybe it's a good day to, take a shot on guys that are not top billing U.S. Open contenders.
Well, I think it also goes to, you have to kind of look at guys that don't need to take, or guys that are at the top of the game, guys that are, the best of the best. And, of course, I'm talking about Jim Furyk.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Back on the train. We jumped off the train. We jumped off way too goddamn early. And that was my fault. Adam co-signed it. I'm back on the train. I'm the conductor. I've always been the conductor. Jim Furyk's in my lineup 100%. I only have one lineup, 100% exposure. It's one of the best.
And I'm torn on him. He's going to be 20% owned. He's going to be at the top of the ownership. So I don't think I can go all in on him.
20% isn't high enough owned for him, though. He should be at like 50, so 20% is a discount.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the highest owned this week, it looks like, is 21% for Webb Simpson.
So one of the things that we all, I don't think we do enough of, but when we're talking to each other and we're playing this tournament, look, it's us four, including Adam, and then usually 3, 4, 5 other people that probably have a lot of the same data, listen to the show, have a lot of the same thought process. So, when you're trying to win a tournament like that, and I'm not just giving this as a prime example, but if you're listening to, another show on the network that talks about golf or anything like that, and you're playing in a competition like that, sometimes it's imperative to kind of differentiate your lineup versus the people that you're listening to win those tournaments, because the people are going to be on them so much. So I will tell you that when I listen to us and what we talk about and who you guys like, the lineup that I end up putting in, if I put in multiple lineups, might not be the one that I put into a large field or even a medium field GPP. Given what you just said about Jim Furyk, I'm not as big on him, and I wouldn't have as much exposure if I had 5 or 6 lineups. I might, be above the field. But I wouldn't be 100%. I'd be 30 or 40%, maybe 50. I don't necessarily think that anybody in golf ever warrants more than a 40 or 50% exposure. But when I know that, everybody else isn't going to play him, he becomes a good play at that point. And that's one of the reasons that you'll see me playing Jason Day a lot, because I know that you guys aren't going to play Jason Day. Right. The only thing that screws that up is Kevin. Kevin plays Jason Day with me all the time. And we
see.
Both.
That's why I have a theme every week and differentiate. And I am a very consistent second and third place finisher.
I mean, hey, look, your random themes sometimes, like you got that big dick energy that one week,
Yeah, hey, the double O's played well for me last week.
I didn't play last week, so I don't know what you did, but I know that
I played players with all double O's in their name. So Uththeisen and Woods and Woodland. It was awesome.
So like this week, I kind of feel like the champion that was stripped of his title due to inactivity and Dana White being just a crazy guy that he is, and I'm coming back. It's who won last week. You finished second. Who won?
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. It's an interim championship. It's not a real championship because I wasn't there to defend my championship. I'm coming back. It's like the Khabib just got announced with Dustin Poirier. Poirier has like the interim title. He's not the real champion. Everybody knows he's not. It's like when what's his name? Daniel Cormier has the light heavyweight. Nobody thinks he's champion. Everybody knows John Jones is a champion. And if you try and tell me John Jones does steroids, so does everybody else except for Daniel Cormier. I'll buy that he doesn't. But like it is what it is. A-Rod had steroids in baseball, but so did all the pitchers. Anyway, we're way off topic. Jim Furyk. Let's do it. I like another guy right under Jim Furyk too. What do you think about Keegan Bradley, Mark?
I kind of like Keegan Bradley this week.
Where's he at? Where's he at in your stats?
He is 13th on my model. And the stat I weighted the most is strokes gained approach, which he's number one in the tour over the last 18 tournaments. So, and his tee to green, he's 8th, and his birdies gained, he's 34th. So he's a rock solid at 8,500 on this course. I'm not as good as Adam with the. I've watched these guys. He watches these guys play and analyzes their swings and can tell you a lot more than me. But
absolutely, no, I like it. I'm just making notes here, man.
Sometimes too much information. Like if you get too much information can be bad. So because you talk yourself out of plays.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Adam's not here to talk me off of Sean Stefani.
I don't even know who that is. I see Tim Duncan's in the field, though, like Ndamukong Suh was last week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Stefani is my low-end guy, 7,300, who popped in my model. So I'm going to roll with him as my cheap guy. Yeah, comes out number 4 in my model. So.
Yeah. All right, so a guy who has been kind of very good in fairways hit right now on the very low end, and I know we're skipping all over the place, but Tringali down at 7,100. So that's been my bargain guy target this week.
I actually think he's in my lineup. Yes, he is.
Tringali. He's been on my list since I did the all Cameron lineup earlier in the season.
Yep. Yeah, I have him in my lineup. Did you finish second with that?
No, I that was a terrible, terrible lineup. That did not work well for me.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Yeah. My dick joke lineup would have been great, except for Beegers are good got cut. Just crap.
Which is the most truth that was probably in that lineup out of all of this is Beegers are good. They are.
Beegers are good. And he is back in recommended play, to be honest. So he's on my short list this week.
So let's do this. Like if you guys got some other plays, I'm ready to do the picks, and like I'm ready to talk about some weird stuff, like whatever weird stuff you guys are into. Like that sounded weird, so
I don't want to get too weird.
I like it. All right, Chris, start us off. Who's going to win this whole thing, my friend?
I'm going to go Brand. So I'm going to go Brooks.
Mr. Koepka. I'm going to go Brand and go Brandt Snedeker, but I'm going Brand for a different reason, because it's in his name. Mark, what you got?
I think Sergio is going to pull it out.
Oh, Sergio. Sergio. All right. Let's look. Let me see. What kind of range do we want to look at here? We are going to go 8,400.